Right, this is my Unit 41 Distinction Evaluation for my Maztec models. Right, I've just done a 15-minute video and YouTube decided to delete it on me, and I hate it very, very much. So I'm gonna have to do it again, but do it in 2 parts this time, so if I lose one part I won't have to repeat myself. Yes, this is my evaluation. Unit 41, it was a unit designed for the students of our class and in other areas of the IT department in the first year to do a modelling unit, 3D modelling, and we use a software called Blender. Now, me personally, I've used other softwares in the past with the 3D modelling, so I didn't find this unit very challenging at all. I've used Maya, I've used 3ds Max, and I've used Cinema 4D. This is probably the only one I didn't use, sadly, but yeah. Right, this unit then. I thought this unit was very interesting, to say the least. I thought it was probably the most interesting unit we've done up to now. I've thoroughly enjoyed this unit. There was nothing other than the consistent brief changes we had. I thought this unit was very, very spot on. I didn't feel there was anything wrong with it. I actually felt the final brief was good. We ended up having to do 2 final models within the end, or I think it was a choice between Chinatown and a choice between 6 models, but they had to be professional standard. But yeah, as I said, for me it wasn't much of a problem to learn the software. I mean, learning 3D software isn't very difficult, to be fair. Once you learn the basic fundamentals of it, like learning what a cube is, what a mesh is, what a shape is, polygon, tri, and cut and extrude, most importantly, you know how to model. It wasn't very challenging at all. That's why I didn't think this was too hard, because I already knew about it before. But yeah, we did have 2 or 3 tutorial lessons on how to use Blender, and our tutor Wayne literally went through a multitude of tools and told us how to use them tools in a way that will benefit us for developing our models, Chinatown, and our character model, as I'll gonna mention in the future of this video. But yeah, I thought this unit was rather easy, to be completely honest. I mean, I can imagine some people had a bit of a challenge with it, but yeah, I thought it was rather easy, and if I did it again, I would, to be honest, I wouldn't change much about this unit or my models. But anyway, my first model, we were asked to create Chinatown. It was Chinatown. The brief changed a few times. It was originally 4 models, then it was 6 models, including documentation. But the final one, what Wayne gave us, was Chinatown. And to be honest, I was quite relieved. I thought Chinatown was a very, very easy model to do. Like, in all seriousness, I thought Chinatown was a rather simple model to do, and I can see exactly where Wayne picked it. If Wayne picked it, it was very. It allowed you to tap into every skill you needed to create a good Chinatown model. Now, if I had more time, my Chinatown model wouldn't have been in more detail. But it was only simply because of the time scale that I just wasn't. I couldn't get it to a higher standard than it currently is. But to be fair, I'm quite pleased with it at the current level it was, or is, should I say. The only thing I'm not pleased with is my archway. I did an original version of the archway, which took me hours and hours on end to do, but unfortunately Blender didn't decide to save it, so I had to redo it, and obviously with time collapsing on me very, very slowly, as this year has, I didn't have much time to go through it again. So I ended up doing a quicker version of the arch, but texturing it rather well. But other than that, Chinatown was very simple to do. It was very simple blocks, very simple extruding. And with my references as well, I had a lot of references on my images. I took a lot of pictures myself for a start, and Google Maps. Google Maps, man, why did no one use Google Maps? Give you a very, very clear indication. You could see the whole of Chinatown without any effort. You didn't even have to take pictures. Just Google Maps, man. Google Maps is a fantastic piece of software. It's not even software, it's an application. Incredible. You can just use that to get a very good, just simple map of what you want to model, and that's what I used. I got the basic shape of my map. I created that on my road in a top-down view. I thought that was the best way to work to do this. I got my road sorted, and then from that I placed blocks in like a placeholder place, cut them up and position them in like a curved alignment along the one side, and it was perfectly fine. Simple, same style shop, so I didn't have to change much on them. I just segregated each block for each individual house or shop, store or restaurant. and on the other side it was obviously you had the large Colosseum or the play theatre, and you had like a larger restaurant, like a large brownish greenish restaurant, along with like two more houses, and obviously in the distance you had like the road going down and the open entrance or end entrance, whatever way you want to come in. I just felt like it really easy to map out. Chinatown was very simple. There was not much to Chinatown whatsoever. I really felt like Chinatown was simple. It was blocks, very simple blocks. Wasn't much more than that. There was the small nitty gritty thing, maybe like adding drain pipes, adding your bins, adding your walls, bars. I mean, just small details. Small details made that model good. If you had small details in that model, I feel like you bumped up. You certainly raised your game on that one, because if you went in there and just placed blocks and blocks and blocks, yes, you'd get looking like Chinatown, but it wouldn't look detailed. I feel like the only challenging part of that model was texturing. I mean, texturing the archway. I had to take my own reference pictures for that from like a distance. I remember embarrassing myself, asking one of like the workies, health and safety, of if I could take a picture of the arch from like a certain distance, so I could get clear, high resolution textures of flat out images, so I could just map them on really easily. I mean, with brick textures, for example, you could just cubic map them on. It wasn't that hard. You follow the whole rule, cubic map, change the color on 3 or 4 of the buildings. Wasn't that hard whatsoever, and you got a really realistic feel to it. Set likewise for the top row buildings, top roofs, everything. I mean, and then we're just going along, extruding, inner extruding for windows, doors, and obviously signage. Signage was a very big thing in Chinatown, which I've never seen many people or many of my peers do. Signage was everywhere in Chinatown. It was just small details that made that Chinatown look good, along with bins, as I've said, all the like the wall siding on one side with the bars crossing in between it. But yeah, that was really all to do with Chinatown. It's just a lot of detail made that model look good. As I said, if I had more time to do Chinatown, I would have done better lighting. Certainly better lighting, more realistic lighting. Made better resolution textures. I would have went down there and got better textures for myself. But as I said, only the archway I felt like I really needed to do that with. I mean, like the floor texture wasn't that great. I'll openly admit my floor texture was pretty poor, and my gravel for my floor wasn't very good. But I'll admit that. So I'd certainly do that again. Yeah. Well, other than that, maybe bump map the thing so it like sticks out a bit. Bump map it to make it look really nice. But other than that, I thought Chinatown was very, very easy and very simple to do. It put along and put you into the test of how to using all your modeling skills. Sorry. Yeah, I thought it was a very, very good task, and I think I achieved rather well in it in the end. I didn't feel like I could do much more to improve it within the time scale I had. And yeah, as I said, textures most difficult, but overall the model was a rather simple task to do. That's unit 41, sorry, D3 evaluation part 1.